Hello and welcome to Ministry of Yoga Online. My name is Zoe, I'm a yoga teacher, and I'm here today to share with you a practice to help strengthen and stabilize your spine, specifically for those people that have perhaps had back pain in the past or experiencing it to a mild degree. And when I say mild, it means that you either have a diagnosis and you've done some physiotherapy to help heal some of the damaged tissue, and also that you know what's going on. Because if there is some sort of serious complications going on with your intervertebral or the discs in between the vertebrae, this can be impinging on a nerve. Now this might be that you're getting some tingling sensation or numbness. It could be sharp or electric type pain, or immobilizing the body, so losing the ability to function with your legs, etc. If you've got any of those symptoms, I do suggest that you go and see a professional medical consultation. I am a yoga teacher here to help you enjoy being in your body. However, I'm not a medical practitioner, so make sure that you go and seek medical advice before starting this yoga for a healthy spine practice. And the other thing is about, that you don't have to miss out on yoga if you are recovering from a back injury. Obviously, the recovery time, you need to work that out with your medical professional. But if you're ready to do a little bit of movement, meditation, and get the mind in a nice place, that's what I want to do. So I want to help you in the meditation side and also feeling strong and stable in the body in some of our yoga postures. If you're able to manage this sequence with ease, then you're probably ready to join a Hatha practice or a more intense physical practice. See how you go. This is designed to be gentle with the body and calming of the mind. So let's get started. We're going to start laying down, but just before you lay down, if you want to grab a chair, I'd suggest like a dining room chair or something that is quite strong and sturdy, not like a couch. So you want something that is very stable and hard surface, so that if you want, you can use that. I won't use one here. I'm going to use blocks and cushions. So if you don't want to use a chair, if you've got a cushion, like quite a thick one, quite a large one, I'll show you what I'm going to use. You can grab one of these. So feel free to pause your video now, grab something that will support you in your practice. You can also use yoga blocks if you happen to have these at home. So once you've got your props ready, you can come to lay down on the mat with the feet in one direction and the head in the other direction. And just making sure before you lay down on the ground that you are in a position where you can still get up off the mat, off the ground. Again, this is really specific to depending on how severe your back pain is on the day. So make sure that you're doing this when you're not in extreme agony. Again, see a medical professional if that occurs. Coming down to lay on the mat, on the back. And actually, this is such a simple posture, yet we don't necessarily do it every day, right? If we're laying in a bed, we've got different weight distribution, makes the mattress decrease in some areas. So even if laying here in this neutral position gives you some lower back discomfort, I want you to place your cushion, your bolster, or blocks underneath the knees. If you don't have a cushion with you, just bend the knees and drop the knees together. Just so that we can relax a little more through the lower back. Turn your hands so that they face the palms upwards. And again, this might feel a little uncomfortable to begin with, but just take the hands a little wider and tuck your shoulder blades, your scapula, underneath your rib cage. Close down your eyes and start to soften the body into the mat. It actually takes the conscious mind to relax muscles. And right now, with the whole body supported by the mat beneath you, systematically relax the body, beginning at the toes, the feet, the ankles. Let go of the muscle tension in your calves, your knees, and thighs. Relax your legs. Take a nice deep inhale and let the belly balloon upwards towards the ceiling. So inhale to your belly, expanding the diaphragm muscle at the base of the ribcage. And on the exhale, let it out through the mouth. You can do 2 more of these breaths. They're great for releasing tension around your abdominal region. Inhale, expand and balloon your belly up to the sky. Exhale out through the mouth. And make sure you empty all the air, relax your rib cage. 1 more deep breath. Exhale through the mouth. Now you can return the breath in and out of the nose and continue to use the belly to support your breathing. So think of this as doing a balloon, but maybe only to the 20% or 30% capacity of the last 3 rounds. On your next exhale, relax the shoulders, surrender the heart towards the back of the body. Relax your upper arms, your forearms, wrists, hands and fingers, let go of the arms. And most of our waking hours, we are active in our neck muscles. And sometimes even when we're asleep, the neck is still active. So right now, with your head being supported, see if you can relax the muscles around your neck, the sides of the neck, the back of the neck, and the front of the neck. Relaxing your jaw. If you need to, you can give the mouth a yawn, and that helps stretch the jaw and then relax the muscles. Soften your tongue, your cheeks, your eyelids. See if you can roll the eyeballs back inside of the head. Notice if that releases tension across your frontal lobe, your forehead. And let the weight of the head sink heavy into the mat. The whole body is resting. No tension. This space, encourage you to set an intention for your yoga practice today. What is it that brings you to practice yoga on the mat? Perhaps it is to create stability in the body, create mobility in the body. Perhaps it's to feel at ease in being in your body. So when we create stability, mobility in the body, it also creates that with the mind. You feel stable, you feel flexible, mobile in the mind. And the same thing, when we feel at ease in the body, we can feel at ease in the mind. intention is an important part of your yoga practice. And when you can set it for your yoga practice, perhaps you can carry it on throughout your day. With every interaction you have with other people, with all the interactions you have in your physical body. Repeat your intention 3 times in the mind. And slowly begin to move the toes and the fingers mindfully. So you're sending a message from the mind to actively move the toes, consciously move the hands, fingers reaching the arms above the head. You can stretch nice and long. And then slowly bring the knees up in towards the chest. If you have a cushion, you might want to just slide it out now. See how you go. So we're going to start to awaken the body. In yoga we call this the joint loosening. So we'll start off with just the right ankle. So we're going to just hold the right leg, drop the left leg down, and draw some circles, even if you want to hold behind the thigh bone. So draw some big circles with the foot, the right foot. And then back the other way. And release the right leg. Bring the left leg up, take hold behind the thigh, and circle for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back the other way, loosening the joint. Even if they're small circles, if you're noticing any clicking, you can just make the circle a little smaller. See if you can point in all the directions of the ankle. Good. Back the other way. And release the leg. Now we'll take it into the knee joint. So we're going to hold behind the thigh and just straighten the leg till it feels okay. And then bend. Straighten and bend. 3, 2, 1. Just mindfully moving, keeping the mind with the body. Release the right leg, bring the left leg up. It's one of the things about yoga, you can do any exercise of the body. Yoga encourages us to do it consciously. Left leg extends and then bends, feeling how the joint moves, feeling how the body moves all together. And last one. And release. This time we'll move into the hip joint. Just very small circles. Again, we're just awakening the body. In the morning, this might also be a little more stiff. So we just take the right hand on the knee, and you can just draw some little circles. One direction. Again, they don't have to be really wide. It's just feeling that hip mobilize. And then back the other way. And release. Changing sides, left leg in and drawing some circles. If you find that there's any clicking of the joint, just make the circle a little smaller. You can bring it into the midline or across the midline, back the other way. So we have some adduction across the midline, abduction away from the midline. And then we're going to do both legs together. So we're taking one hand with the one knee and we're just going to rock and roll. So look, small circles, massaging down also into your lower back and the point that hits the mat. So just feeling, it's almost like acupressure. You're putting pressure in different parts of the lumbar spine. Just little rocks and rolls. All right, release the legs. Now this is a really important step. Getting up off the floor is something that if we do this for life, this is going to be really helpful and handy. So we're going to bring the right arm up above the head and roll onto your right side And from here, extend your left leg, which is your top leg, and this counterweights the body to a seat. So use your left hand, push into the left hand, and walk the hands up. That's how we get up. We're going to do this 3 times on each side. So we're going to go back down as slow as possible. Extend that right arm out and roll back onto your spine. Good. We're going to do 2 more on the right side. Right arm up, roll the legs, come all the way over, extend your left leg, walk the hands up. You're now in a seat. Let's go back down. Make it as simple and pain-free as possible. So releasing. So if you need to adapt the right arm a little out to the side, you can. You can roll, bring the knees in, extend your left leg, come up, and go back down. There's actually quite a bit of side flexion here as we come up, so we just want to make sure that there's no pain. Let's do the other side. I'm just going to move my mat out a little bit from the wall. I probably should have done this earlier. So let's do the other side. From here, left arm up, roll onto your left side, extend your right leg, press into the floor with the hands. You're coming up, and then you go back down. Walk the hands out, roll back onto your back. 2 more rounds on this side. Over to the left, extend, mindfully coming up, and then mindfully going back down. Simple, efficient, easy. Left arm goes up, use the hands, come onto a seat, and then roll back down. And onto your back. Hug your knees back into the chest. Now, so you can get up that way. This is one way to get up off the floor, which I suggest you keep practicing. Otherwise, cross your legs, hold onto your thigh bones, and get the body momentum, a little rock, so that you can come up to a seat with a more of a curved but straight spine. Let's come up to a seat. Alright, so now from here, if you feel comfortable to come onto the knees, do so. If you need to use your yoga blocks to get the knees so they're not so much in flexion, you just place the blocks sideways underneath your, what we call the sit bones, right underneath your pelvis. And if this is too much, this is where you use your chair. So feel free, bring your chair over, sit on the chair, don't lean into the back, sit on the edge of the chair so your feet are on the ground. Okay, giving the shoulders a little roll, 2, 3, 4, go back the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. Bring the arms above the head, inhale up. Exhale, hands to the heart. 2 more, inhale, reach the arms above the head. Enjoy that nice deep inhale, exhale, hands to the heart, center. We call this Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Bring the arms out wide, so it's like you're making, in Australia we call this the goalpost. We always have like football analogies. But let's do the goalpost, or maybe even a cactus. Yeah, the cactus arms. So we're going to bring the arms nice and wide. Drop your shoulders so that they're not crunching up around the ears. Drop your shoulders down and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And come back to center. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale, release. Now we're going to bring the elbows together and really round through your thoracic spine. So I'm going to just turn so that you can see the rounding. You can stay where you are. Okay, so bring the elbows out wide. Have it like directly from your shoulder. Don't raise the scapula, keep it low. And then bring the elbows together. Arch the back of the body. And exhale, open. Inhale, round and arch. Push the breath as if it's going to the back of your ribcage. Exhale, open. Inhale, forward. Exhale, open. Inhale, forward. Exhale, open. Last one. And release the arms. Just roll the shoulders. Releasing, relaxing, let the arms rest on top of the knees. Just for a couple of breaths. Okay, and then we'll do what we call spinal flossing. So bring the arms out to the side, keep the shoulders low. We're going to bring the right arm to the shoulder and drop the head to the left. So right arm, so right hand to the shoulder, and slowly drop the ear towards the left arm. Inhale up, exhale. Inhale, same side, exhale. We can make this in one movement, so it's just hand in, ear down, inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up. Last one, exhale down, inhale up, exhale, release. Give the shoulders a little roll. Bring the arms out to the side. This time, other side, bring the left hand in, drop the ear down. Inhale up, exhale, release. Inhale up, exhale, lower, inhale up, and release. Do 3 rounds at the same time. Lower and up. 2 and 3. Exhale, release. Give the arms a little roll once again. Placing the hands on the hip. Bring the right arm out to the side and roll from the shoulder so that the palm faces up. Just make sure you're not just rotating the lower arm, that you're rolling the shoulder, your shoulder too. Bring the bicep all the way up to the ears, and you're in just a gentle side stretch. You don't have to push too far. Just leaning a little into the side. If you've got a chair, armrest that you can lean in, you can go a little further over, or if you can lean into the floor, but only if you've got that base arm to support you. Good. 2 more breaths here. Make sure you have a steady breath. And what happens when we come back up, that right arm will give us the counterweight back to the center. Changing sides. Left arm comes out, roll from the shoulder, then the forearm. Bring the bicep up to your ear and over to the side. So you can just stay here, but if you can reach the floor or your armrest of a chair, if there is one, then you can go a little further. Otherwise, stay where you're feeling supported. We're going to get into all these rotations and forward flexion of the spine and extension and twist. So we're going to get all the directions that the spine can move. Give the shoulders another little roll. And from here we're coming onto all fours. So if you're in a chair, come back onto the mat. We're going to get onto the all fours like so. So bring the hands nice and wide. If you have wrist pain, I don't mind you coming up onto the fists, if that feels okay, or onto your fingertips, if that also feels better. So remember, you've got the fist, which I'd normally say point your thumb forward, just tuck it in like this, or you can come onto your fingertips. Just if you're on your fingertips, you want to make sure that your fingers aren't hyper flexing. So you just want to bend your knuckles a little and that you've got active hands. Otherwise, place them on the mat. Also, you can have them a little further in front, which takes that wrist flexion, extension. All right, so from here we'll do the rest of our cat-cow and spinal flossing. So we're going to bring the hips back over towards the heels and look up towards the sky. And then exhale around the chin and the rest of the body. Come forward onto the hands, a little hop feather. And as you bring the hips back, look up to the sky. Exhale forward, tucking your chin under, arch your spine. Inhale, look up, hips back. Exhale forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale forward. Last one, inhale, look up. Exhale, come to the neutral spine. On the next inhale, bring the right hand out in front and make a fist. So this one is turning straight towards you with the knuckles pointing up, and the bicep comes up to the ears. And again, you can still be on the fingertips of the base hand, otherwise flatten your hand, reach forward with that right arm. You can pull this like, I don't know, power person pose. Power person pose. Lots of power going through that right fist. Clench it. Exhale, release. Change sides. Left hand up. Power person. Making up yoga names now. And if they don't have a name, then you've got to make it. Let's keep pressing that front wrist forward. Making a fist. Steady breath. Exhale down. Now it's important in these postures that you're not sinking the lower back. So we've just got a little lift up through the abdominal region, so squeezing a little towards the spine with your belly button. And now we'll do the legs. If again your wrists are feeling a little pressure now, just lower them to your elbows and you might be able to do it here. You can bring the right leg back and then just lift the right leg about 3 centimeters off the mat. I know you might not be able to see it, but just notice that little lift, that little squeeze, and if you still feel okay, make it on your hands. Squeeze. Feel as though your glutes, your buttocks muscles is doing the lifting of the leg. Exhale down. Left leg goes back and toes 3 centimeters up. Squeeze the whole back line. You can also squeeze your inner line of your thigh. So to do that, you need to feel as though you're squeezing slightly together with the knees. Exhale, release. Now, let's do both together. Right leg goes back. If you need to have the leg on the ground, do so. Left arm out in front. You can stay here. If this feels okay, lift your back leg 3 centimeters up. For 5, breathe in. 4, keep your belly drawing in towards your spine. 3, 2, don't let your hip drop. Keep your right hip lifted. And 1. Exhale, release the left hand and the right leg. This time, left leg back. Right arm out, power person, and make sure the biceps lifting up towards the ear, and left leg comes up if it's possible for you today. For 5, 4, 3, you should try to breathe with the count. If you have a longer breath, that's fine. 2, and 1. Exhale. Release down. Lower onto the heels if this is available. Otherwise, just walk the hands out and take child's pose, lowering the head to the mat. If you feel okay, in flexion of the knees, lower your hips over your heels. This is child's pose in its original form with yoga. And then coming up onto all fours into downward dog. Again, if this feels a little too much for you today, you can stay on all fours. You can also keep the knees bent as you extend the arms, or try the half dog, which is puppy pose, this one. Otherwise, full downward dog. Tug your toes and start to lengthen the back of the legs, slowly, one at a time. Bending the knees a little helps release the pressure of your lower back, and see if you can pull your sit bones, your bony part of your buttocks, up to the sky. Hold here for 5, keep the breath steady. 4, open up through the shoulders, spread your hands wide. 3, 2, and 1. Come back down onto the knees. And then we'll make our way to standing. If you need to get support of your chair, a wall or something around you to give you steadiness, you can come up onto the knees, bring one leg forward, and then press through the floor and come up. And we're standing. Into Tadasana, mountain pose. Pick up your toes, spread them wide, zip up through the inner thighs and round your outer thighs. Squeeze your glutes a little together. And here you'll just notice, if your knees are in full extension, they're locked. I don't want to see the full locked, I can't see you, but you can see me. I don't want to see the locked legs. See if you can bring a little tiny micro bend to your knees and make sure that your pelvis isn't tilting too far forward or dropping back. Find the balance of centering your pelvis. With the abdominal region, I want you to feel as though that you're drawing in like a corset around your core and then push it outwards so that if you were to poke your belly with your finger, you'd find that it's got a little bit of resistance in there. Find your obliques, these side muscles pushing outward. Collarbones wide, arms extending, fingers towards the floor. And crown of the head lifts up to the sky. There's just one more thing here. If you lift your chin up, let's see if you can pull the chin down towards your chest and then come back to center. Tadasana, mountain pose, is a very active posture. We're clenching muscles. We're strong. If someone was to come and try and push you over right now, that you'd offer resistance. You're prepared. It comes from the ground up. We want that same contraction, that same steadiness as we come through our standing postures. So if you're at the very top of your mat, just step the right leg back. If you're at the back of the mat, step your left leg forward. So we want the left leg in front for a lunge. Don't let the leg pass your toes. So here, not good. Keep your knee directly above the ankle. I'm just going to change sides so you can see what the back leg is doing. And then the back leg, we want to make it fairly straight. If it's a little bend, it's okay. But if you start to straighten and you feel a stretch through the psoas, that's what we want to feel. We want to feel this nice extension through your hip flexors. You can make it a little wider and a little longer, and that will make it stronger. You'll feel more heat created, you'll burn out more fuels, as this front leg requires more energy to stay. It was actually these type of postures that fixed knee pain for me. So bringing a bent knee and activating both sides of the leg, contracting up everything around your femur bone, your thigh bone. One more breath here. And then stepping forward. So if you need to hop that back leg in, you can. Otherwise, big step forward, come up. Changing sides, left leg back. First, get this stability. Also, if you find that you are falling either side, it's struggling, just make sure you have your feet, what I say, hip distance apart. So not in the same alignment, otherwise we get on a really narrow plane. Separate the legs a little and come into that lunge. So first, focus on the front leg because you can see what it's doing. Spread your toes, knee over the ankle, and then start to feel the back leg. Start to feel that extension through the hip flexors. Straightening your back leg, lower down. It doesn't have to be too low, just make it active. Breathe here. Make that corset nice and tight and around the core. And also if you find that your lower back is arching too much, just tuck your tailbone under. And release, stepping forward. Big step, good. And then stepping wide on your mat. So we're going to turn out. We're going to start to make the hips wider in external rotation. So this time, left leg turns out and then lower down. This is what we call warrior two position. The back leg is directly forward in alignment with your back knee. And the front knee and foot are in alignment too, with the front foot pointing to the top of your mat. You might feel a stretch through your adductor on the back leg, maybe. But you definitely want to feel the strengthening of the front leg. Squeeze your glutes in just a little. Lift up with your pelvic floor, your belly button in and up, and then find that obliques, actively pressing outward at the sides. Reach the arms long. You can hold this posture for another 3. Look at your front hand. 2, 1. Straighten that front leg. Roll the leg in. You can bring the hands to the hips for now as you just, again, focus on what the legs are doing. Right foot turns out. If you need to adjust a little, you can have the heel to the arch of the foot. That's where I suggest. But you might also have it at the toes or the heel to heel. Make sure first this right femur bone is in line with the knee. Again, no knee damage. We don't want it splaying in or splaying out. Like, one of the problems is when our knee collapses inward and it puts a lot of pressure on the knee joint. Reach the arms out wide. We'll stay here for 4. Make sure you're not lifting your scapula. Keep the scapula down for now. Breathe a little bit lower towards your belly button and lift up your pelvic floor. And release. Straighten your front leg, bring it in, bring the hands to the hips. And to get this in, let's heel and toe the legs a little closer. Back into our Tadasana pose. Our mountain pose, which is strong, it's active, and we're grounded. You can do this pose anywhere. Once my yoga teacher taught me this, I just found myself engaging this way in many places. Standing in line at a checkout in a supermarket, waiting for a lift, an elevator. Feel the active muscles hugging around the bones. They then require oxygen and glucose to keep them active. Strong body equals a strong mind. And then we're going to have a balanced body. So we're going to shift the weight onto your left leg. The right leg comes up. You can either bring the foot, keeping it a little bit on the mat, or off the mat in the calf. The other option is to bend that knee into deflection and bring the foot above your knee joint. Now, when I started doing yoga, I couldn't do this posture. So feel free, grab hold of the wall or your back of your chair or something that you can get steadiness and take your balance until you don't need the wall. Bring the hands at the heart center and then feel as though you push into your midline. And make sure that this left hip or the base leg isn't being pushed to the side and you're not relaxing here, you're engaging. You're lifting up, energy up from the belly button to the crown of the head. This is a meditation posture. It's hard to think of anything else except staying here. Look at something that's not moving. Get your eyes focused and engaged and trust that base leg. And release. Come back to your mountain pose. This is really important as a start and the foundation of balance. You spread your toes wide, you get a nice grounding through the whole of the foot. We've got like a half moon shape at the ball of the foot, up the outer edge, and then the heel. And then we want to feel as though we're pulling the ball and heel together to engage the arch. Feel as though that you're gripping the mat through that action. And then you can use that as your solid base. Engage the leg. Don't lock the knee. Keep it a little bent. And then bring the left leg up. You can stay here, or you can come up all the way above the knee joint. Just make sure you don't push the hip out. Keep it in alignment. You'll feel it, even if you can't see a reflection in this moment. You'll feel that nice, active, strong hip, strong base leg. Trust your balance. Focus the eyes. You might think right now that balance isn't that important. But when it comes to walking and engaging the body in day-to-day activity, balance does become important. So that you don't injure yourself going up and down stairs, moving escalators. You've got balance. And release. Bring the left leg back now. Give the legs a little shake. And we're going to stand at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward as far as you can. If you need to, bend the knees a little. You can also place the hands on your chair, or if you can get onto some blocks, or all the way down onto the floor. If you've got your fingertips on the floor, start to straighten your legs. Stretching the back of the legs. Hold here for 5, 4, 3. Be aware again of how your feet are grounding. Have you got a lot of weight forward or a lot of weight backward? Spread out into that half moon shape, including your toes. One more breath. And exhale, release by inhaling the rest of the way up. Inhale, come up. And then once you arrive, exhale. It's important that once the head is below the heart, we inhale to come back up. And that just helps stabilize the oxygen in the body. Good, now feeling okay? Let's continue. Inhale, reach the arms above the head. Exhale, we're going to step the right leg back. So all the way back into a low lunge. We're going to stay here. Again, if you need to lean into your chair, you can. If you have blocks, lean into your blocks. Otherwise, use the ground. We're stretching a little deeper into that hip. Often if we have tight hip flexors, this can impact our spinal mobility. Good, and release. You can slide this left leg back and bring the right leg forward. So again, you can come up, get stable, use your wall, your chair, or the floor, and then lower into a deep, what we call lizard lunge on the other side. Stretching out through your psoas. But now we've got the back knee supporting us. We've got our hands supporting us. You can come into a little more flexion with that front leg. And release. Slide that right leg back and come onto plank pose. If you're feeling quite strong today in the plank pose, you can lift your knees. Otherwise, keep your knees grounded and just walk out the hands so that the shoulders are above the wrists. If this is too intense for your wrist, lower down onto your elbows and walk the elbows out. Hold your core nice and stable. Now this is really important. The plank poses, if you can hold this plank for a minute, then you've got a really solid, stable spine. But we're only going to do another 3 breaths. 2, 1. Exhale, lower down. If you're on your elbows, come up and then walk the hands back in. Take a seat. If this feels uncomfortable, stay on your knees. Just give the wrists a little roll. And release. Now onto the belly, all the way down, into our back strengthness. So if you need to, walk the hands out, lower into your elbows, walk the elbows out until you're on the mat. Bring the head down and take a nice well-deserved relaxation. Turn the head to one side if it feels okay for your neck. Relax and sink the body a little deeper into the mat. One of the things of building stability over time is taking moments to relax in between. And as we create load bearing on the body, at some point there is too far. That's something we have to learn, what is too far for you on that day. Some days you'll maybe be able to do a little more, others you have to take it easy. Everything affects that. Food that you've eaten, sleep that you've had, and the weather outside which impacts your mood, all sorts of things. Okay, let's turn the head to the other side. If you had it on one side, go to the other. Bring the head back into center. Strengthening the back. We want to keep the toes grounded and have the feet hip distance apart. Bring the hands onto your lower back, if you can. If this still feels a little bit too hard, just keep the hands on the floor. If you can touch your lower back with the back of the hands, hold there and squeeze your shoulder blades back. And on the inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lower. 4 more. Squeeze your back muscles. Inhale. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. 2. 1. Exhale, relax. Relax the arms again. Turn the head to one side. Let it all go. And remembering your intention of what you came here to do on the mat today. Are you still fulfilling that in your actions? Turn the head to the other side. And bring the head back to center. Okay, one more round. This time, if you want, you can hold the posture as you breathe, if that feels okay. Otherwise, keep it dynamic. Bring the arms behind the back. 5 breaths. See if you can hold. Keep the toes grounded. Contract your back muscles. On the inhale, lift up for 5, 4. Make sure it feels okay. No sharp pains. Pull your shoulders, your scapulars back towards the midline, your shoulder blades. 3, 2. Make sure you're still breathing. Without the breath, there's no oxygen going to your muscles. Or barely any oxygen. That's what gives them energy. That and glucose. Exhale, release down, relax the arms, rest the head. Keep the head neutral for this one. Rest the head in the back of the arms. Now we want to stretch out those muscles out gently. So from here, remember how we got up? Bring the right arm out. Roll onto the right side. Draw the legs in a little. Send the left leg back long. Come up onto the hands. And then slide up onto your knees. It's really important how you get up off the floor. That could be how you actually injure yourself, not in the postures itself. So, being mindful how you move. This time, cat-cow. Inhale, arch the spine, tuck your chin under, hold, breathe. Exhale, lower down. Bring the chin up, arch the spine. Inhale into cat pose, hold for 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, release down. This next posture, side plank, marvelous for your spine and stability. So let's get into it. You can do side plank on extended arm. So when I say side plank, we're making our way into this, or this. Okay, as you feel comfortable. So if again you've got some wrist pain, come down onto the elbow. If you get shoulder pain, use the top hand to support the shoulder. Push the shoulders, supporting it, and then you lift up the hips. So I don't mind if you're here, if you feel like you're really engaging your side muscles and your core, then you stay. Otherwise, come up a little higher, support the shoulder and lift. If that feels okay, extend your top arm, maybe even lift the base leg. We're going to stay in your side plank, whichever one you're doing today, for 5, 4, 3, 2, lift the hips. 1 more breath. Exhale, release. Come back through onto all fours. You can just take a little swing to the right with the hips, swing to the left with the hips. Swing to the right, and swing to the left. To the right, and to the left. Come back into center. Let's do the other side. So remember, if you get wrist pain, lower onto your elbow. If you get shoulder instability, hold it with the spare hand. And then come into your side plank on your left arm for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release the top hand, come back into center and sway the hips side to side. So what we want to do in side plank is really engage your side muscles that stabilize the spine. Your obliques, your side abdominal muscles. And come back to center. Bring the legs through the middle or around to one side. So as you come down, you can sit to one side, bring the legs around, rolling down the spine. You can bend the knees if that makes it easier. You can also roll to one side. Otherwise, very strong engagement of the core. You can roll back until you're landed. You can have the knees knocking in towards each other, just taking a rest right now after those nice side planks. Tuck your shoulders underneath. A little more for the core. Let's do this. Bring the knees a little closer, the heels a little closer, and the knees should be above your ankles, slightly apart. You can also use a block between the knees to make sure that they stay there. Okay. So, actually, not use the block right now. We'll do that in a minute. Bring the right leg out on the mat. Place your hands once again underneath the lower back. So where your lower back arches, this is where we want to strengthen it in its neutral position, which is a slight curve. And from here, I'm going to lose my speaker. From here, lift your elbows and lift from the heart. So imagine you've got one point going straight through your heart right now. One little point that pulls you up, the rest of the body is up. And then lift that right leg 3 centimeters off the floor. If you get a sore neck, lower down just a little and push the tongue against the roof of the mouth. Breathe, 2 more breaths. Exhale, lower down. Bring that right leg in, left leg out. Elbows up. Straight through the heart, we just push into the mat, lift the head, lift the left leg, 3, 2, sorry, I think we did 5 last time, so I'm going to do 4, 3, 2, push the tongue to the roof of the mouth, 1, exhale, lower down, and release. Bring the hands out from behind the small of your back and place them on top of the belly. And feel the belly breathe, move upwards as you breathe in. And relax as you breathe out. You can rock the head side to side. Because some of you might get quite a tightness in the front of your neck doing that activity. It doesn't mean that you stop doing it, it just means that it is strengthening your neck. So you just do what you can without stressing, overloading the neck. And release. Coming back in. One more position is our bridge pose. This is the one that you can use your block if you want in between the legs, but you don't have to. This is just a mindfulness of where the legs should be. Is like about 1 block apart, depending on your hip width. You can imagine your block is there and squeeze your legs slightly towards each other and away from each other. Co-activation of your thighs. Tuck your shoulders underneath, tuck your tailbone, lift up. Stay here in bridge pose. 5, 4, remember to breathe. 2, and 1. Exhale, lower down. Release the block. And release the legs flat onto the mat. Almost done. Almost done. Okay. From here, bring your right knee into your chest. Hug the leg into the center. And then bring the right leg across the body. But as you do so, we really want to turn onto the greater truncator, the bony part of this left leg or left hip. So we roll the body underneath, and then the right leg comes across. You can hold it with the arm. We don't want to go too deep. We do want to feel that nice rotation in a relaxed position, a passive stretch of the spine. You can keep the head neutral for now. Notice how the breath is influenced by the rib cage in this rotation. The ribs are also rotating, not just the spine. Inhale, come back to center. And release the right leg up. Left leg in. Again, we really want to turn the pelvis to the side. So it's not just the leg going across, but you're really turning the pelvis so it's almost perpendicular, or maybe even perpendicular to the mat. And you can support your leg with the right arm. The thing about stretching the body, especially when we're experiencing pain, we tend to have like a nerve reflex that gives us about 15 to 20 minutes of pain-free. Sometimes it's just stretching out a painful spot will trigger different hormone and different chemical reactions in the body. We stretch it out and we think that we're pain-free, but it might come back in about 20 minutes. So be mindful of that. When you do the stretches, sometimes it's just a false pain relief. It doesn't mean that you don't do stretches, it just means that you still need to be very mindful if the back is experiencing pain. Releasing that leg. And then the last posture is what we call legs up the wall, Viparita Karani. If you've got a wall there or your chair close by, you can lean your legs on your chair or on your wall. Otherwise, just let your legs hang up, upside down. You can even hold the legs. All I really want to see is your feet up towards the sky. That's all I really need to see. You can also do happy baby pose here. But essentially, feet above the heart, highest point, and actually then requires the blood flow to shift. We have to work harder to get the blood, the new oxygenated blood to the feet. And the venous return of the blood is with ease because it's working with gravity rather than against it. Again, such a simple thing to do with our body, but unless we're doing yoga or some other physical activity that's very holistic, when else do we go upside down? When do we do this? We help the body regulate the fluids, improve venous and artery supply, channels in the body. 3 more breaths upside down. Notice if you do feel any different in your feet. Sometimes they get a little tingling and light feeling. And slowly release. If you're on a chair, just remove the chair or just take the legs to one side. Come back to lay on your mat in Shavasana. If you have that lower back tension, sometimes you can feel fatigued after doing this type of work. Keep the legs bent. Otherwise, let the legs go down onto the mat. If you feel any tension in your neck, you can roll up a blanket, a pillow, or towel underneath your neck. And often when we come to lay on the mat, again our chin extends up a little bit. So just pull the chin to the chest and then lower it down. And then we'll go through that systematic relaxation of the body using the conscious mind. You are aware of your physical body and the connection it makes to the floor. You are aware of the breath moving in and out of the nose. You can feel the breath create a rise and fall of the belly. When we're using our belly to breath, it triggers what we call is the parasympathetic nervous system. It's our resting and digesting state. Fully rest the body. This is, if not the most important posture in your yoga asana practice. To fully let go of any tension that was created during your asana practice before you move on to any other activities of your day. You might start to feel a nice sensation as the body heals and renews all the cells, the muscles, fibers, the connective tissue. Relax your toes, your feet and ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, the legs are relaxed. Your pelvic floor is relaxed. Your abdominal muscles, your lower back, the ribs, the lungs, the heart. Surrender your torso into the mat. Relax the shoulders, the upper arms, your elbows, wrists, hands and fingers. Surrender the arms. Become conscious of the muscles of your neck. Are any tight? Are any trying to hold on? Right now your head is supported. So too are your shoulders. So relax everything in between, including the throat. The breath should flow with ease through the throat. Soften your jaw, your cheeks, your eyes, your eyebrows and your forehead. Let the eyes roll back inside of the head, resting the weight of the head into the mat. Shavasana, deep relaxation, and I'll draw you out in just a moment. Enjoy this stillness, quietness that you've created for yourself today. Take a nice deep inhale, fill up your belly. The long slow exhale out through your mouth. Use your next breath to send the communication of movement to your toes and your fingers. Use your next inhale to raise the arms above the head and stretch the body nice and long. Slowly slide your knees up into the chest and hug the legs in with the arms. Give yourself a nice big hug. Oh, looking after your body. You did a good job today getting on the mat. Strengthening, stabilizing, mobilizing the spine. Come on to the left side or the right side, whichever is easiest for you for now. And use that same strategy to get up the floor. Right leg out, right hand down, press up. Come up to a seat. You can sit here, you can sit cross-legged, or whatever feels comfortable for you today. As we close down our practice, we're going to take a meditation seat, close the eyes. Remembering your sankalpa, your intention of what brought you to practice your yoga today. And see if it's being embodied not just on a physical level, but on your mental level. And perhaps even the emotional level. It's all linked. What we plant in the fertile soil of the mind as our focus is what that we create energetically within and around. Bring the hands to the heart center and Anjali Mudra. The thumbs come up to your forehead where we will represent the mind. May your intention stay within your thoughts today. Thumbs to the lips, may your intentions be in your words and communications today. And thumbs to the heart center, may your intention stay within your physical body for today. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste. And we bow forward towards the earth to thank it for its blessings, its nature, its divine life energy. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me on the mat. If you want to see more of this, feel free to email me, ask me some questions.